A ton to get to here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Hope all of you out there are having a great week. We have another great show on tap for you all today. San Francisco making it official that Josh Johnson has been signed as the backup quarterback to Brock Purdy. We'll get to the latest 49ers injury news, Hassan Ridgeway update, Nick Bosa a little bit banged up, Baker Mayfield to the Los Angeles Rams, and very positive news on the Jimmy Garoppolo injury front. But first, if you think the San Francisco 49ers are the best team in the NFC, because right now I think they are. They have the most well-rounded, talented roster in the NFL right now. Then I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Some news to get to around the division and pertaining to this football team. Let's start off with Jimmy Garoppolo here. This broken by Adam Schefter just moments ago, and this is why you subscribe, because we bring you these videos stat sources. Doctors concluded today that Jimmy Garoppolo does not need foot surgery. It is not a Liz Frank injury. And if rehab goes smoothly, Jimmy Garoppolo has a chance to return in 7 to 8 weeks, making him a potential playoff contributor. Now, that 7 to 8 week timeline, right now, the 49ers are 8-4. They've won 5 games in a row. They have 5 games remaining on the 17-game schedule. So that 7 to 8 week timeline would bring Jimmy Garoppolo, again, best case scenario, back to the football field late in the playoffs. So I would say as of right now, it's extremely unlikely that Jimmy Garoppolo will be back with this Niners team. But for him as an individual moving forward and going into free agency, if he suffered that Liz Frank injury, the timeline to return is so lengthy and so arduous. So that's positive news for Jimmy G on that front. And as of right now, the 49ers quarterback depth chart looks as such. Brock Purdy moving forward is going to be the starting quarterback. Why? Well, San Francisco did not put a claim in on Baker Mayfield. He is heading to the Los Angeles Rams. And the signing has been made official that Josh Johnson has been poached off the Broncos practice squad, added to the Niners active roster, and he will be the backup. As for Baker, Tom Pelissero, Adam Schefter broke this news that Mayfield has been claimed by the Los Angeles Rams. San Francisco was 24th on the waiver claims list, so we all had that expectation. It wasn't realistic he was going to come to the Bay and be named Baker Mayfield. Obviously, Baker probably won't play Thursday against the Raiders, but his work with Sean McVay starts immediately. And then we go to Josh Johnson, because this is the newest addition to the Niners roster, them making that move official. Now, the news broke that Josh Johnson was going to be added to the Niners team after the game on Sunday. Today, that roster news was made official, and that's why I want to spend some time talking about Josh Johnson, who, taken off the Broncos practice squad, added to the Niners 53-man roster during his 13 years in the NFL. He has been a member of 14 different teams, the most for a player in league history, and this will be his third stint with San Francisco. What's cool about Josh Johnson, he gets to come back to an area in which he's very familiar with. He is from Oakland. He was with the Niners in 2014 as well as 2020 and 2021. And he has familiarity with this organization, obviously has familiarity with the Bay Area, and joins a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. And shoot, at this point, given how many injuries that have been suffered at that quarterback spot with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo going down, you never know when another opportunity will await. And he's well-traveled. 14 teams in 13 years. Can you imagine working some odd job out there and you're in the same industry, but you go to 14 different businesses in 13 years? That is a lot of turnover, and you don't really get acclimated with your surroundings there either. So Josh Johnson has really been everywhere. He most recently played last year with the Baltimore Ravens and actually has a 300-yard passing game more recent than Aaron Rodgers. Now, throughout his career, he has only started 9 games, and he has not won a lot of games during that time. He's only attempted 353 passes throughout his NFL career. His completion percentage at 58.1. He's chucked 13 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. Average yards per attempt very, very low at 6.4, and his overall record in those 9 starts, not good, 1-8. But San Francisco has one of the more quarterback-friendly systems in the NFL. And again, he has familiarity with this organization and Kyle Shanahan because he was here in 2020 and 2021. So be the coach. Who do you want to be the Niners' backup? Is it Josh Johnson? Is it another player out there in free agency? Or you're hoping a guy like Matt Ryan could get cut by Indianapolis and then he falls in the lap of Kyle Shanahan, even though his arm is completely cooked? Drop me a name down below in the comment section. An update on the injury front on Hassan Ridgeway. This guy's been an unsung hero along the defensive line for the Niners at that defensive tackle spot. Expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with a pec strain. And this is going to be a big loss for San Francisco, no doubt about it. He has filled in very nicely, and he's made several starts this year at defensive tackle for this Niners defensive front that I think has been the best in the NFL. He left that Dolphins win in the fourth quarter. The good news for him, surgery is not needed. But if you think about how a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman plays, your pec, your bicep, that's why these injuries last so long, because you're trying to disengage and you're trying to create separation along the line there. So if you suffer a big injury to your pec, it takes you a little while to come back from it. And that's why that injury timeline is so long. Been that unsung hero along the defensive line. And you look at his numbers this year, 12 games, 7 starts without Javon Kinlaw. He's made a lot of people forget about Javon Kinlaw. And throughout this year, 28 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss to go along with 4 quarterback hits. San Francisco should be able to escape and survive without Hassan Ridgeway on the interior of that defensive line. But there's no doubt they're going to have to make some adjustments within that Niners defense. Today's show is presented by Rocket Money. If you head to rocketmoney.com/Niners, you can cancel unnecessary subscriptions and start saving money today, which is especially paramount given we're going right into the holiday season. So start saving money right now. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? You might not know, because 80% of people have subscriptions they forget about. Maybe for you, it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. There's this great app that I use, and it helps me track all of my expenses, and in turn, I've been able to save a lot of money because this app has been a game changer. And because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions that I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. The app shows you all of your subscriptions in one single place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know that you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged by a company out there. And to cancel a subscription, it's all very easy. All you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Head to rocketmoney.com/Niners. Download the app and use our link so that they know that Chat Sports sent you. Because I'll tell you what, there's no worse feeling than logging on to your bank app and you look and see, what the hell? I've been getting charged the last 6 months by this app or the subscription that I don't even use. Rocket Money can help you take care of that. Niners defensive rankings. This is why I think that they'll be able to survive without Hassan Ridgeway. They're first in points allowed, first in yards per allowed as a total defense, first in rushing yards allowed, and then outside of that, elite in several different categories. 4th in interceptions, 6th in sacks, 8th in turnovers, 3rd in passing touchdowns, and 3rd in touchdowns. And this Niners defense is stacked up against the Cowboys defense, 1-2 in a lot of these categories here. And both defenses are revered and regarded as 2 of the best in the NFL. I think San Francisco has the far superior defense because I think they're better at all 3 levels and they're a lot deeper and better coached as compared to Dallas. But how about you? Better defense this year up to this point. SF for the Niners, DAL for the Cowboys. Chime in, sound off, join the comment section down below. Nick Bosa injury update. This, of course, big going into Sunday's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which Tristan Wirfs expected not to play once again. And Bosa's having a Defensive Player of the Year type of season. Some hamstring hamstring irritation. Kyle Shanahan saying on Monday that he'll be managed this week. I imagine he's going to be good to go. You just have to err on the side of caution. And Bosa, he's the best pure pass rusher in football, and I don't think it's close. And right now, the Defensive Player of the Year conversation comes down to another Cowboy, Micah Parsons, as well as Nick Bosa. Micah Parsons might be a more versatile player who can do more in terms of dropping back in coverage and rushing the quarterback. But no defensive player in the NFL is more impactful than Nick Bosa and a better pure pass rusher than Nick Bosa. And it's hard to duplicate what he did last year, but Bosa's doing that. He's having a better year than last year, which is really crazy to think about. Last year, the tallies, 15 and a half sacks in 17 games, 32 quarterback hits, 21 tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, and 52 total tackles. This year, through 12 games, and he's only played in, 11 of them, he has one last sack, so he is sure to overtake that number. He already has more quarterback hits. He's on pace to break that number of tackles for loss. Forced fumbles, yeah, he might not get there, but at the end of the day, that's okay. You look at the sack numbers, the quarterback hits, and then 36 tackles for loss. And when it comes down to it, Nick Bosa makes massive plays that can change the complexion of football games. He sacked Andy Dalton 2 weeks ago to keep that shutout in line. Had a couple of sacks of Tua Tagovailoa. He forced the strip sack on Tua that led to the Dre Greenlaw scoop and score. Making impact plays every single week, and that's why I think Nick Bosa should be and is the front runner to win Defensive Player of the Year. After last year, he was just disrespected in that regard nationally. Lastly, Tarvarius Moore injury. Knee sprain for him, out for a few weeks, and this is going to be a damage to the special teams unit for San Francisco. He has the 6th most special team snaps, 4th in special teams tackles. He's been a really good player for the special teams unit that's really been Jekyll and Hyde. Last year, the special teams unit was awful. To start this year, they were bad. They've been better of late, and hopefully that play doesn't drop off without Tarvarius Moore, who's also a pretty solid backup safety as well. If you think Nick Bosa should win Defensive Player of the Year, let it be known right now in the comment section by rapid fire typing 97. I think he is. That's why I'm typing my 97. Join with me right now, Faithful.